Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of NDNABA with Martin and Dan. I'm your host, Martin. Alongside of me is my co-host, Dan. Dan, how is it going? I know we've had a couple week hiatus with everything going on. I mean, we got the fires going on in Southern California and haven't had a whole lot of time to record.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's been very interesting last couple months, I think. I hope everyone had a happy holidays. In the meantime, for me and you, I know we had a lot of sort of successes and a lot of difficult times as well for many, as you said, the fires in LA, but also I myself, I was in the hospital for a brief period in
Mm,
December and then dealing with a little bit of diagnosis switch from multiple sclerosis to clinically isolated syndrome, losing some of my vision and regaining it. And so
mhm.
I'm glad to be back here on the show and kind of get up and running while I'm in recovery. And we thank everyone for waiting while we were out. Today we have a really exciting guest. We have Kadin McElwain
Ronald.
here to talk to you guys about his activism, his writing, and his advocacy for the autism community as a college student. So, welcome, Kadin. We're so happy to have you on the show. We'd love to hear about some of the things you're doing. In particular, I think I even heard you're working on a new article about the LA fires. If you wanted to tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, boys. Like you said, I'm an autistic college student, writer, and activist, pretty much on a mission to raise as much awareness about autism as possible, now more than ever in today's politically divided society. During my
Yeah.
life, since my diagnosis at 2, my capabilities were questioned due to the social stigmas around that time, which was in 2006. It's 2025 now. I'm 20 years old now, but thanks to a very supportive set of parents and a strong work ethic on my end, I was able to prove those people wrong, go to college and get 5 consecutive dean's lists, going on number 6 now, graduate high school early during the pandemic, online while working 2 jobs, and do all this while starting the movement to bring autism awareness to the mainstream.
Wow, congratulations, Caden. And you know what? I've read some of your stuff as well. It's really good and really inspiring. There's still a lot of good going on, even though, of course, as we mentioned, it's been a challenging time for many. So 2025 has been, to say the least, a complex year for us all. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
how
And
you
it's
guys
only
feel.
January still.
I know, still only January. So on that note, I'm wondering, how we can support things. I know I've seen a lot of great fundraising and sort of support advocacy on your end, Caden.
That's actually interesting because right now I'm in the works on an article about autistic individuals impacted by natural disasters such as wildfires. Because right now, all the autistic people in that area pretty much have their routines poof, gone, never to
Right.
be seen again, up in flames, down into acid, is pretty much. So if anyone
Yeah.
knows any autistic individual that's impacted by any natural disaster in history, I'm in need of 5. You can reach out to me on Facebook at Kadin Ronald, KADIN RONALD.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll definitely share that. So my question for you is your article in Exceptional Parenting shows how your parents treated you like everyone else and fought for you. So how did this influence your confidence and inspire your advocacy work?
I don't know what I'd do without my parents. They continue to help me even when I act a fool sometimes. So one time in particular, middle school, my IEP was cut off completely without their knowledge and consent just because I was doing well academically, when the school should
Mm,
have known that autism isn't necessarily academic struggles, it's social and interpersonal struggles. So my
mm.
parents wrote to every autism organization in Tennessee, which is where the school was at, and a state senator to help get that implemented again.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. You know what? They'll definitely go through no bounds. I know my parents would do the same, especially when I was going through high school graduation into college, and there was all those very important periods where applications are going through and you want everything to continue smoothly. I don't know about you, Martin, but I know that was a very stressful time in my life. So it's good to have somebody in your corner and sometimes a little bit of understanding when things get a little bit tough. I myself, recently I had to take a little bit of a break from working as much as I normally do while my vision recovered. And it's good to have family there to support me, whether or not I was grumpy or in a good mood on those days. So, shout out to all the parents in general, anybody who is there for their children, no matter what, through the hard times and supportive. It takes more than just a clinical team. It also takes a group of people who love that person, who have unconditional support, maybe a non-contingent reinforcement coming naturally from their environment to the individuals. Without them, it would be difficult to continue and carry on with all these big goals. So shout out to the parents, pat yourself on the back again. Speaking of parents, I know you recently have had your book that describes both yours and your mom's perspective, Martin, Chatterbox, My Life with Autism, recently released on the Barnes & Noble's website. So if you guys haven't checked that book out, please give it a read. It's a very quick and good read and really gives an insightful perspective. Anything exciting going on in the writing realm for you, Martin, lately?
Potentially working on a second book. I haven't decided yet. It's either going to be photo based, kind of like the world through my eyes. So kind of like from an autistic person's perspective, or kind of do a book of like speeches that I wrote or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, one of the favorite things about your book for me, the first one, is some of the chapters where you describe how you got to the point you were now professionally, as well as some of the difficult times in school and how that helps you to understand what individuals are going through. But in a lot of ways, just sharing your story in general is the way to go. Just to find somebody out there who maybe they had a similar experience, or maybe they can at least relate, so that they see something supportive that maybe inspires hope. And so again, I want to thank you for being on the show, Kadin. A lot of the stuff that I see from your articles, as well as some of your groups that you support, and even some of the cool brands that support neurodivergent and neuroinclusive styles and products, like Boatsman Style, I think, was one of them. These really cool cactus leather shoes that are, very sensory friendly, and they're vegan, I believe, right? Groups like Birthday Club. I know you did some fundraising with them recently, and we can definitely put those links in the description. And hopefully 2025 is going to be a good year for us all, despite this challenge with the LA fires, despite, some of the many feelings people may have coming into the new year. I hope that we can all just find our way to move forward on our best foot. And so, anything else going on in the near future you guys might be excited about, you can get the audience ready for?
Well, I got another article, a reprint that's going to be published in British Columbia Parenting Magazine on what to do during an IEP meeting when fighting for your child, pretty much based on how my parents fought for me and weren't afraid to speak their mind at IEP meetings. And overall, just continuing spreading the cause and giving it attention.
Definitely. So my next question for you, Kadin, is what advice would you give to neurodivergent students who are entering college for the first time, or who want to, or who are striving to find their place in this world? Like, is there any advice you'd give them?
Absolutely. The number one piece of advice I give is embrace who you are. Simple as that. You're amazing as you are. It took me years of struggle and pain to realize that. And if people don't accept you, don't give them the time of day. Everyone's missing out on an amazing person, friend, or partner.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah, one of the things that your article mentioned that I wanted to highlight really quickly for many of my maybe some parents I've worked with that might help them out is how to sort of have expectations without not being supportive. Because I noticed you mentioned they still wanted you to succeed to a certain standard or certain degree, and wondering if you might help describe that for the parents out there listening.
Absolutely. My parents got me the resources I needed: occupational therapy, physical therapy, ABA therapy, and IEP. But they also didn't let me slack off and feel sorry for myself either. They pushed me hard, and thanks to them, I developed my strong work ethic, take my academics extremely seriously, and once I get a job, I'll take that seriously too.
Definitely. I totally resonate with that as well. And I always felt like, this was an important note for any teen or any parent to kind of hear is that, maybe there are sometimes high expectations and teens and people going into their adulthood, they feel the pressure from that and like it might be hard to achieve. But sometimes it helps a lot as well to create an opportunity for success that is probably going to be something that either your kid or you and them might have luck in participating in, and they might have a high degree of success, or something that you can just um, make accessible that is easy to achieve, and then make it a big deal. An example for me is cooking. I'm constantly struggling myself to make a meal for anybody in the kitchen, but sometimes if somebody has given me some simple instructions in the past and I made the meal by myself and they're amazed, it promotes me to do it further, just because they created an opportunity for success. Other things like that I think are really great. But like you said, uh, you know, it's not about just going easy and always letting somebody slack off. But you also have a high degree of understanding when things
Right.
are difficult. Not to press too hard, and to have a supportive mindset and a growth mindset rather than typically what we see as high expectations. Though they are there. So thank you so much for kind of enlightening us on that, Kadin. And again, I hope to see more of your articles out there.
Definitely. I have one last question for Kaden. This will be a good one before we kind of give ideas of as to what's going on next week. So my last question for you, what sparked your journey as an advocate, and what was the first step you took on that advocacy journey?
I'll answer the second bit first. The
Okay.
first major step I took was my class project. Yeah, in 2022, that started this whole journey of mine. The assignment was to think of a way to help the community and act upon it. So my group and I settled on starting a GoFundMe for Autism Society of America. And what sparked it all together into this whole movement was noticing that my group didn't take it seriously enough, and honestly left it all to me. Making the power, they helped. I'm not going to be too tough on them. They helped at least make the PowerPoint, but in the sense of actively going out and fundraising, I had to do all the work, to the point of even losing sleep because I was so passionate about it. But of course, a lot of my generation, the TikTok generation, is like that nowadays.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
totally
figured if no one
understand.
else is going to take this cause seriously, I might as well be the voice of it.
And nice
All
job. Pat
right.
yourself on the back for doing that, because I know it takes a lot of effort, especially all of a sudden when you start getting all of the sort of reposts and TikTok things coming in, and you want to keep up with your activism on there and keep on keeping things current. It can actually take a lot of energy, be draining for anyone, but it does make a big impact, because what people are on these days, especially after it was briefly off and then back on, they're on the TikToks, they're on their Instagram, they're looking at a lot of reels these days. So Martin and I as well will put everything that we have for our advocacy on our Instagram channel at NDNABA the podcast. If you guys follow us there, or you can check out at Spire Autism at Martin's Autism Life. I've got stuff for Da Vinci NCR Services up there as well. And Kadin, you can definitely check him out on Facebook. He does post a lot of his activism there as well. And we'll post a link in the description for you guys to check him out, give him a follow. And yeah, you know, but make sure, like we said before, even though there is sometimes a lot of different perspectives and some people, you know, are very negative on social media, to try your best, you know, regardless of that, right? Putting your best foot forward to be positive in terms of offering, you know, support and solutions to people, maybe offering just your story, just so that in case somebody listening can identify with it, and you know, they feel less alone, they feel hope and inspired. And so, yeah, you know, thank you guys again, both of you guys, for sharing your stories. Martin, for sharing your keys to self-acceptance speech recently, where you were awarded the Advocate of the Year for San Andreas Regional Center. I'm sure that was impactful to many. Kadin, having your voice in the Exceptional Parenting article really is really, you know, about your voice and talking about what your parents did for you. It really raises the perspectives of autistic individuals out there, so that people see the value. More to come. We are working sort of on getting some things done out here in Hawaii, and we'll talk more about that in the future. But for now, you know, maybe that's a little bit of a teaser. We have some big things coming out with the US Autism Show, where the date is going to be announced soon.
For anybody who watches this that's in or near Manteca, I will be there at the Manteca Autism Fair, April 12th, and it goes from 10 to 3, I believe. There's going to be food trucks. There's going to be a DJ. We got a kids rapper that's coming from Sacramento that'll be there. We got like fun things for the kids, and we have a lineup of amazing speakers as well.
Wow, that sounds like a great time, actually. Almost makes me wish that I wasn't all the way out here on island. I could come on out there for it. Though, you know, I do love it out here as well, on Oahu. And Kadin, anything you'd like to say before we sign off here?
Keep spreading positivity. Thanks for having me, boys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Keep spreading positivity. Thank you so much for being on the show. And yeah, thank you guys all for watching.
All right. Bye, everyone.